Boston, New England is bracing for yet another winter storm, a third in less than 2 weeks, that could bring up to 2 feet of snow across parts of the region and as many as 18 inches to the Boston area. A winter storm watch was in effect from Monday evening through Tuesday evening for much of New England, and a blizzard warning was issued for coastal Massachusetts. Officials urged residents to stay off the roads unless necessary, given the likely whiteout conditions. The snow was expected to begin falling Monday around midnight and could continue for 24 hours, forecasters said. Officials called off school for Tuesday in Boston and several surrounding districts. Amtrak suspended train service between New York City and Boston until at least 11 a.m. Tuesday. Ferries were cancelled, as were scores of flights in and out of Boston's Logan International Airport. Many state offices, including the Motor Vehicles Department and law courts, were closed. Stephanie Pollock, the state transportation secretary, said that the state expected to deploy its entire fleet of 4,200 pieces of snow removal equipment. As of Sunday, the storm did not appear too threatening, but by Monday afternoon, the outlook had shifted. Meteorologists said the storm had intensified, and they predicted more snow, with as much as 2 feet in Maine and parts of Cape Cod. Rhode Island and parts of New Hampshire were expecting up to 18 inches. The Cape was also expected to be blasted with high winds, with gusts up to 65 miles per hour, said Lenore Correa, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Taunton, Massachusetts. Since early March, the region has been pummeled by storms. Last week, a nor'easter slammed into the East Coast on the heels of an earlier powerful storm that killed at least 8 people and knocked out power for 2.7 million. Ms. Correa said the concern with the storm was the same, that the snow would be heavy and wet and could bring down more trees, branches, and power lines, plunging New England residents into the cold and dark. Gov. Charlie Baker of Massachusetts said officials were not calling out the National Guard as it had in the earlier storms because the tides would be low and any flooding was likely to be minor. Power failures were his main concern, Mr. Baker said. Crews, assisted by utilities from across the Northeast and Canada, have by now restored power to 750,000 homes and businesses in the state over the last several days, he said. It has been slow going because fallen limbs and trees took out individual lines, meaning crews were restoring power one neighborhood at a time. Cities farther south along the East Coast are facing far less precipitation. The National Weather Service predicted between 2 and 5 inches of snow in New York City and surrounding areas, where a winter weather advisory was in effect. The eastern end of Long Island could get up to 10 inches of snow. New Jersey, where some residents are still without power from the earlier storms, is expected to get between 1 and 4 inches.